My section had gotten to watch one very cold night out to sea. It was the midnight to 4 watch. We had 4 posts up top and 4 back aft. I never went back after because the bridge and top lookouts were more active, so time went by faster. Back aft was really slow, sitting in one place a long time, and it was where you went if you planned to sleep on watch. For some reason, I got sent back aft. Back aft was 2 hours in an engine room, nice and warm in a chair, then 2 hours outside. When flight ops weren't happening, port and starboard aft lookouts were on the fantail. Since this was midnight, no flight ops, so lookout was going to be on the fantail. Our section was down 1 person, so we didn't have a messenger. We usually had 9 people and 1 was the messenger, which meant they were a free body. Up top they rotated every hour and a new person would become the messenger. Up top was 4 people and back aft was 4 people. They would send the messenger to go back aft and start rotation when it was time. Then the messenger went back to the bridge. We're 10 minutes into watch and this guy outside starts playing sick. We didn't have a messenger, but this female was the section leader UI. So she got sent back to relieve him until they got someone else out. But she doesn't relieve him. She didn't want to have to sit outside for the 10-15 minutes it would take a relief to go back there. And she also didn't want to have to come back to rotate us later. So she relieved me and told me to start rotation. Because that way, she got to sit in the warm engine room for 10-15 minutes instead of outside for 10-15. This meant me and one other guy were going to be stuck outside for around 3 hours and 40 minutes. It was insanely cold and wet out from rain. I tried to push back, but it was an uphill battle. So I leave to go outside, rotation finishes and relief relieves the female and she goes back to the bridge. The other guy and I who ended up outside were always getting screwed over. It was pitch black on the fantail and we had on sound-powered phones. So, phones with a cable into the wall. So, we couldn't walk very far. There was a steel archway leading to each of our posts. We each stepped out enough so we could see each other. We didn't say a word. He was on the port side and I was on starboard. We literally just looked at each other and nodded. He was behind a half bulkhead to a little ledge area. He curled up in a ball and went to sleep. I climbed under one of the guns on this little ledge, curled up, and went to sleep. It was the only way to ignore the freezing cold for over 3 hours and speed up the misery. We weren't even worried about consequences. In that moment, we understood and just went to sleep. We each woke up 20 minutes before being relieved, soaked from the rain. We talked about that a few years later on Facebook and started dying laughing.